Renee.
So just building up this audience now, boys. So we'll just hold for a couple of secs.
What's her password? We're on. Ready, Tobbo?
Yeah, what are we at? Hold on a sec. We've got 70. Yeah, we'll start, boys?
All right. G'day all. Thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of KI and TI Talk Footy. Tonight we're very lucky to be joined by one of the most talented footballers to ever play first grade, in my opinion, Brett Buster Seymour. Buster debuted for the Broncos at 17 and a half. Went on to play 200 first grade games in Brisbane and in the UK. First of all, I'll pass over to Ty. Ty will tell you a little bit, and then we'll get straight into it, Buster. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Timmy. So first of all, just before we get into Buster's story, I just want to thank everyone over the last 8 days. We kicked this page off 8 days ago, and the response has been outstanding from everyone. I think we've just hit about 4,000 likes today, and obviously that can't be possible unless everyone's getting behind us. So I really appreciate everyone sharing it and inviting your friends, and yeah, everyone that's helping us out along the way. We just want to thank you, and obviously the guests that are coming in, Ferris, Erwin, and now we've got Buster tonight, which is going to be a sensational chat, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, everyone that's jumping on board with us, continue to support us, and we'll see how far it goes. Over to you, Kimmy. Thanks, Buster, again, mate.
You're right.
Guys, as I said, Buster's got a great story. Buster, mate, tell us the Buster Seymour story, mate. Where did it all start? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school? And where'd you play your first game of footy, mate?
Righto. Yeah, so I was born Mackay. Father Graham Seymour, he grew up in Mount Isa, Cloncurry Way. I used to work on the railway. And Mum, she was a nurse in Mackay. So, yeah, we moved to there. I grew up. I went to St. Francis as a primary school, then on to Mercy College, which is a Catholic school, from 8 to 10.
Yep.
And then went off to St. Pat's, mate. I was signed to the by the Broncos at 15. Picked up by Cyril. Cyril Connell was recruit. They used to all the scouts, Melbourne Bulldogs, Broncos. Used to sniff around the junior carnivals, the schoolboys ones, and Cyril. Obviously he had the pulling power at that time. I got offered a lot more money at clubs like Melbourne and one or two down south, but I never really had any interest. But the Broncos, my grandfather was like the 300th member. He was one of the first members, and he was mates with the blokes that set it up. So, that was the pull there to go there. And he was best mates with Cyril. So, anyway, they looked after me through school from 15 to 17. And things progressed along and ended up moving to Brisbane. We relocated as a family, so that made it easy.
Oh, well.
And, so mum and sister, all my mum's brothers and sisters from Brisbane. So the transition was really smooth. We set up a house there, and we had other players that were similar age to me. They used to stay with us, so we were like the host family. Mum was. So we had Ashley Alberts, Chris Kalis stayed with us for a portion of a time. A couple others that never went on to play any grade, but so I had it pretty I had it all set up for me to really go on and make a go of it, with the support and looking now. I know the clubs have definitely got those sort of things in place where they've got a someone that looks after the young kids, especially come from remote places or even anywhere like the bush. When you go into Brisbane, it can be daunting, or a place like Melbourne per se. So, went to Brisbane things were going along pretty good. I was playing for the Clydesdales. Kevy Walters was coach then. Real good side. Like we didn't lose many games, but things were. I was progressing probably a bit ahead of my time, and I got to debut in 2002. I was playing for. It's sort of racking my memory here, boys. I'm pretty hopeless with this, but I was named in the Queensland side, like one of their midweek games, the precursor to Origin. So
Residents?
I played that. Yeah, no, it was like the 18s or 20s.
19s.
I remember 19s, yeah, and I played that game, and we played against the Blues, and I'm pretty sure Thursday was playing for the Blues.
Yeah.
Or Sonny Bill, one of them two. Anyway, it was Bird, Sonny Bill. Anyway, so and then Wayne, the way he Alfie got hurt the week before, he had a sore thumb, and the way Wayne, he never gave you really much. He just sort of tapped me on the shoulder like on a Wednesday and said, "Oh, you want to come down to Sydney? We'll sit you on the bench." They started and ended up playing against St. George and debuted at 17.5. And that was with like Gordy, Webby, Sivanasiva, obviously Berrigan, Lockyer. I was just sort of, starry-eyed young kid. And, but they just gave me all the confidence at that age because I'd been in there doing the stuff at training. So they had full confidence in me. Laid on a nice try, and there was a bit of a furore around it. And I played a handful of games that year, and then Wayne groomed me to go on and take the halfback spot from then on because Alfie was hanging the boots up.
Yep.
So I sort of kicked on from there. We had a real good side. Probably should have won a couple of years, but like between 2002 and 6, but it was the rise of the Storm were really on the rise then, and they had the wood on us through that period, like GI and Billy and Cam. They were just going good, and then I remember in that period the Roosters were flying too. Ricky had the line speed. They had those. They were the team that brung the line speed into the game. So the Broncos, we relied a lot on the block shape, just the simple dog block or whatever you call it. And it's all different terms for different teams. But the Roosters were the ones that nullified it, and then other teams started getting onto it. And so there was a bit of an adjustment period there. And during that period, Carmichael broke my record and debuted as the youngest, so that and then there's been some good ones to go on. So I don't it doesn't take any mark off that that achievement certainly. So from there, I obviously got in 2006, Bronx won the GF.
Yeah.
And halfway through the year, I played the first 8 to 10 games at halfback, and then had an indiscretion with alcohol, but it was an accumulation of events. It was myself, Neville, and I think one more. We got told that there was not a spot for us. Wayne was he ran a tight ship, and we were breaking the rules. We weren't the only ones, but he had to make a point of it, and obviously it worked because they went on to win the trophy. And at the time, it didn't hurt too much. I was, masking it, drinking, alcohol, partying, recreational, just pretty much trying to block out any of the pain that was caused from that and the guilt. But I had a deal in place to go to. I went to Cronulla the next year, and I was signed to under Stewie Raper, and he got sacked in the off season that year. So when the next year I went down to Cronulla, and they signed Ricky in the meantime, and Ricky Stewart, signed on from the Roosters, and we started off on a real bad foot because pretty much he just didn't want me there, and he didn't he didn't mask his feelings. He just told me straight, no, you're not wanted here. I wasn't the one that signed you. You got to prove your worth or try and earn a spot. I had Dykes and Kamali were there at the time. So I was in limbo pretty much from the get-go. I was training hard, doing everything right. And then into that first year, I actually got told to go back to myself, Josh Hannay, and one other. We got kicked back, so not to New South Wales Cup, to like the local league in Cronulla. They put us back to park footy to try and push us out. And I just said, nah, I'm just going to sit it out. I reckon, because I knew I had plenty of footy in me.
Yep.
And they had a string of injuries, and then Ricky, you there?
Yeah, mate, gotcha. Yep.
Can you hear me? Yeah. They had a string of injuries that year, and then Ricky's come knocking on my door.
Yep. We got you, Buster.
Yeah, we can hear you, bruh.
Is that mine?
Yeah, it's just staggering a bit, but we can still hear you, so keep yarning.
Cronulla. Hang on.
We gotcha? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, but
We've got you now.
hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, bruh, we gotcha.
Yep.
Yep.
So Buster, you were saying that they had some injuries.
So Ricky,
did he bring you up from local league? Were you playing local league at the time?
So it rained for 6 weeks. All we did was drink piss and eat sausages for the whole 6 weeks. And he tapped on my shoulder, and I went and played. I think I played a couple of games of Reggie's, and then I went and played first game of first grade. Played Para and kicked the winning field goal, and he was my best mate then. So from then on, he built a team around myself and Noddy, and we had Burry, Gallen. Obviously, he was in his prime. Pomeroy, Cavell. We had a real good side, and then we had a couple of years that went good. Finished top 4 years in a row, and one in the I think it was 2008.
Yep.
We finished. We finished third, and we had the week off. Off, and we were training playing soccer, and Danny Lee playing soccer, and I done my ACL. Year was done. So from there, we got beat by Melbourne in the prelim to go to the grand final.
Yep.
Timmy, I can ring him, bro. We'll cut him out, ring him, we'll get him on via phone, eh?
Yeah, sweet.
Buster, answer your phone. We'll keep the chat going, but we'll get you on by phone. Something's going on with reception, lad. Ring him, bro, real quick there. Sorry, lads. Everyone out watching.
Hey, Buster, we're just going to have you on over the phone.
Oh, yep.
So we got you, mate. We can hear you loud and clear. I've just got the phone next to the speaker, and we should be sweet, Buster. Mate, yes, get back to that Cronulla story, Buster.
Yeah, so right. So in 2008, I think it was, we finished, we ended up finishing second or third. And we had a week off. We won our first game against the Raiders.
Yep.
Smoked them. And then we had the week off, and we went up to a place called Kiama up towards Wollongong.
Yep.
The game of soccer, football games.
Yep.
So football, Danny Nutley's crunched me from behind, and I've done the ACL.
Who was that? Sorry, mate. Who got you?
Danny Nutley, remember that?
Yeah.
Front row?
From Redcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. And
So it was wiped out for the year.
fuck. So that was before the prelim.
Yeah, bro. And that was before we played Melbourne to go to GF. We
Yep.
beat Melbourne twice that year.
Yep.
But, because it was changed, like myself and Noddy pretty much played all games. We had a good combination going. Everyone knew where they were going, and just threw it into disarray. Blake Green debuted
At 6.
at 6, and he was only young and didn't really have much of a voice. So,
Yep.
I think they skinned us like 40-0 or something in the semi, and then wasn't sure. I'm not sure who went on to win it that year.
2008, I think that was Manly. I think Manly.
Melbourne, was it?
Yeah, Melbourne or Manly. Yeah. And so that was 08, mate. And you were at 09 at the Sharks?
09, I was there, and then I got, we had pretty much the same team together, but I played half a year, and then I got moved on again to the same type of indiscretion, multiple drinking, and just not obeying the guidelines that the coaches had played.
So, Buster, with that, just for the viewers out there, like with the Broncos one and the Sharks one, like we don't need to go into details about them, but you said multiple discretions. Were you warned the time or the 2 times before that?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
You get it's pretty much like any workplace, mate. You get a written warning or and then if you continue the same behaviour, then it's pretty much up to the headmaster, and usually it falls on the coach.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with at the time you're young and going out and drinking and partying, what it's all about. But I would have made better choices in that time. But things may have gone differently.
Yeah.
But life is just an accumulation of decisions. Whether you make the right one or the bad one, you've got to deal with the consequences.
So, mate, with that, so obviously, Wayne was the bloke who spoke, 6 and Ricky in 09. Which was the harder chat to take, Buster?
Probably the Broncos was tough, just in that I was, I don't know. I never really envisaged having to go to another club. I didn't really have that in the forefront of my mind, so I had to go to Sydney, move family, or move with my missus at the time, and she had a career of her own. She was sort of development, and anyway, we went to Sydney and we made the most of it. It was in my makeup to adjust to whatever surroundings, and obviously didn't start on a good foot with Ricky, but things panned out pretty good. Like, we had a real good side and playing well. Probably played my best footy at Cronulla, I reckon, in probably all my time. But
in 08?
Yeah, in 08, 09, probably two peak years, and then I ended up going to New Zealand in 2010.
Yep.
After Cronulla.
Yep.
And that was playing under Ivan Cleary.
Okay.
So we had a couple of Aussies over there. New Zealand. It was a beautiful place to live in Auckland. It was like Jake Millington was over there. Young Maloney he signed from Para.
Yep.
And he was a bit of an unknown. No one really knew too much of him. He just looking for an opportunity. Michael Luck was there.
Yep.
Probably the most professional bloke on paper, Simon Mannering. He was the captain, and so in 2010, I think we snuck into the finals. We won over 50% of our games. We were tough to lose at home, but they just lacked that instant staying in games. That was probably something that comes with the culture over there.
So, mate, were you playing in the halves with Maloney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Jimmy was 76.
Yep.
And then 2011, I played the first, maybe a handful of games, 5, 6, and then I hurt my leg. I had like a fracture on the tibia.
Okay.
And then another fellow, Sean Johnson, debuted.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Mate, again, so this is probably the second time in a few years for you that a team's gone to a grand final, haven't they?
Yeah. So in 2011, Manly beat Warriors
Yep.
in the final. And
Tobo?
I ended up coming back from injury, and I was playing real good footy in New South Wales Cup, but I was probably feeling like I was hard done by at the time that I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
But Maloney was flying, and Shawnee Johnson was just a sensation. So,
Mate, who was...
looking back at it, I was probably lucky to be where I was.
So,
Buster,
just tell Buster here, just Buster, you've been, you've been pushed out the back door by 2 clubs. You've already had a major injury while you're at the Sharks. You've then gone to Warriors. You're playing good footy. Then you then get injured again. Where you at mentally, mate? How are you feeling mentally there?
So you there?
yeah, mate, yep.
So looking back at it, it was probably the start of my decline.
Okay.
With my mental health, and there was never a label for it. Back in that, in the times you had no one to talk to. You take everything from footy back home, and you stew on it there. And so 2011, I ended up signing a deal with Hull FC to go to England.
Yep.
So, and it was worth good money, and it's an opportunity to restart. So we went over to England, and we made track there. We set up camp there, and I was lucky enough to have my first child there over in England. She was born in England.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and so that's something that I always remember that place for.
Yep.
And I played, we had a fair side over there. Wade McKinnon was over there. A couple of others. But, we finished, we were about mid 4th, 5th. We were for the 2 years there.
Yep.
Peter Gentle was coach.
Yep.
He was come from West Tigers, so he pretty much run Tim Sheen's playbook from 2005 6 when Benji and Princey were at the Tigers carving up.
Yep.
With the double drop, they were doing the double drop off, and it was a new look. It was getting right across the field, and it worked in England because they hadn't seen it before.
Yeah. Mate,
And just on that, Buster, obviously that's Scotty Prince and Benji Marshall were ideal at that. That suited their game. How did you find playing similar footy to them? Did that suit the way you like to play, mate?
No, I was more direct and going at the line. So it was an adjustment, definitely. I didn't cope with it at first, but ability was getting me through.
Yeah.
And I found my feet. You have to adjust to conditions also. Found my feet, started playing some real good footy, but fell out with the management over there. It was just a business decision. They wanted to move me on, move my contract, and so ended up going. It was in 2011. I had a real bad. I got dropped, and then I got told I wasn't wanted at the club, and then I had pretty much a mental breakdown at that point, and was using alcohol, prescription medication, and depression all mixed in one, and had a really bad car accident, and ended up in hospital, and then wiped that year out.
What about 2012 or 2011?
11.
Yep. Okay. And mate, did you have much support, Buster, after that? You going through all that sort of stuff? Did the club hang by you, or?
Oh, mate, no. It was pretty much left to your own devices, eh? There was an organisation called Sporting Chance in England. They reached out to me. They look after football players suffering with the same sort of stuff that I was.
Yep.
I ended up going to a residential facility for a period of time and getting myself back on my feet. But I pretty much had a year off footy. I think it was a whole 2012.
Okay. Mate, how were you when you come out of there, Buster?
Mate, at the time I thought I was good, but looking back at it, I was a mess. I hadn't really dealt with the acute mental health problem that I had, and I was just sort of running on autopilot. Just doing enough to stay afloat for my missus and my kid.
And mate, was that so? The reason for you to come out, Buster, was that because you wanted to be back with the family, or was there someone else pushing you out to say, "Look, you're ready now"?
There was like a time. It was like a couple of months to stay, and it just pretty much worked like that. I think it was about 3 months. So
okay.
And then I got a severance package from Hull, and then went and signed for Castleford Tigers.
Yep.
And I spent like a year. I spent a pre-season there and done the first couple of weeks, and then things weren't like it was looking like I was down the pecking order, and they couldn't promise me a game.
Okay.
So I went to a place called Whitehaven. It's up towards Scotland in the Championship League. Yep. And I was like a player and assistant coach there. For a year, and then I ended up going to Dewsbury Rams for a year, and then come back home to Australia in 2016.
Mate, was Glenn Morrison coaching Dewsbury?
Yeah, Moz was coach.
What was he like, mate, as a coach?
He was the only reason I sort of went there. He was good. Yeah, similar personality to Ty. Very relatable, hands-on coach. Still in good nick. Really good communicator.
Yep.
And the gun, defensive wrestling, that was his forte.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Buster, I mean, you know, as we said at the start of the chat, You debuted at 17. You've gone on to play, even with your dramas and everything that's happened, you still went on to play 200 first-grade games in Australia and England. But I remember watching you debut in 2002. I was obviously only probably 12 or 13, but 13 or 14 probably. But I thought you were going to be the next Queensland halfback, and I thought you were good enough to go on and play for Australia at the time. And you sort of sit back and, for me, someone who didn't have the ability of you scratch your head wide, didn't you? Mate, for the viewers out there or for young kids in the same sort of situation who've got it all like you did, because you did. Looking back now, what would you change to better your football?
I think, mate, more so I was coping with the good and bad of footy, and I was using it. Alcohol as an outlet. And it's only going to be a demise. Like it's good in moderation, and if you're in the right setting. But most of the time after midnight, out anywhere, any town, you're going to be in. There's some trouble around the corner.
Yeah.
And I found myself I was always out. And just not prioritising my footy. I was just pretty much getting by on talent and a little bit of hard work when needed. But the great players, they're always working, and then they're always putting in the extras, spending more time on the paddock or more time recovering. And each time there was a crossroads for myself, I was always seeming to lean and making the wrong choice. So, if I was to let any kid know, it's to really weigh up your decisions. Don't just act on impulse and think about, is this going to be the right decision for me going forward in my career, because it doesn't last forever.
Yeah. And Buster, mate, obviously you talked on your mental health, you talked on alcohol abuse and prescription drugs and recreational and stuff like that. The question for me is, before you hit the NRL, what were you like as a teenage kid? Or do you think that you could have been blinded by the fame and you're going out to nightclubs, people are buying your drinks and people want to be your mates and all that kind of stuff? Do you think you get caught up in the moment, mate?
I guess so. Like, it's just in the fact that I was always hanging around older kids, playing footy with older kids. Probably felt like, I was probably a bit better than the kids at my age. Like, it's not good for me to say, but there was a handful of us growing up that could have been playing A-grade footy at 15.
Yeah.
Like Ben Costy, he come up through the grade there with myself and Ash Elvis was the best schoolboy player, one of the best players I'd seen as a kid. He was like Steve Renew as a centre, and he just made a couple of wrong decisions. And he never got to really get anywhere near the contest. I think he played a handful of games, but he's one of the ones, I thought, man, he's so good. He should have played 300 straight games. Just, you've got to have the talent is part of it, but you've got to have the mindset that
also, Buster, like, mate, I've read a few books of blokes who probably kicked on and played 20, 30 games, and they say that, full-time football is not for everyone. Got out of that full-time football, mate. Did you start to enjoy life a bit more? Did you feel like a weight was off your shoulder, or did you miss it straight away, mate?
It was tough. The transition it was tough. Like I went back to Australia in 2016. I was coaching the team up in Mackay.
Yep.
I was playing as well, like here and there, but no, I was only playing as pretty much coaching on the field.
Yep.
But I love the game that much. I just want to give back to the young kids, you know, in the region, give them an opportunity to see the game through someone's eyes that beat to the pinnacle without, you know, being a superstar. But, you know, I had a bit of knowledge there, and I just wanted to pass that on. But I was still in touch with the game.
Yeah.
So that was, I never really put too much thought into not being a professional. I just knew my time was up.
Okay. And mate, anyone that knows the Mackay Rugby League, the club you went to is at the lower end of the scale, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you actually went there to give back, didn't you?
Yeah, mate. I made an agreement with a bloke called Greg Sutherland when I was in England. And, he passed away through long-term illness.
Yeah, well.
And I'd made the deal, and so I honoured it and still come back, even though he had passed.
Yeah.
And we pretty much worked on minimal budget.
Yeah.
And we made the finals that year. We knocked off South in the last game of the year, which was pretty sweet because they're the old silver spoon mob in Mackay. So for us to beat them, it was a big achievement. Nev come and played the games for me that year as well. And
did he?
I dare say if we had him for a week, he didn't play the first semi. We would have won, maybe one more, but we would never have gone on to win it.
Yeah.
And mate, how did you find it, Buster? You know, stepping away from that professional scene to come back and be grassroots with Mackay Rugby League as a junior. How did you find that transition?
Yeah, well, it's definitely humbling.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was there was a bloke, Marco Peters. He was a big help for me coming back and just. He had a lot of connections, and he was just very helpful on the mental side of it. Like, he was there for me off the field, which is really big help. You know, I've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after 2016, my wife had shown a desire to go back to her hometown in Toowoomba.
Yep.
And a guy, Alan Fitzgerald, and Gary and Drew from Valleys in Toowoomba reached out, and it was a perfect fit. So I ended up going back coaching their side there, and you know, she was closer to her family, so I think we're starting to move on.
Yep. And that was 2017, Buster?
Yeah, so that was 2017. I coached Valleys, and I was born in 2016 in Mackay.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was nice, and so like we went back to Toowoomba, and Valleys had a very established club that had like 100 years in one of the founding clubs. So we had a decent team. 2017 went on to win a couple of trophies in the next couple of years.
Mate, with that 2017 side, I remember you coming, myself, Ty, and a good mate of ours, Nathan Hughes, coached a team in the Murray Carnival. And I know Big Nathan harassed you to come play for us. We got all the way to the grand final, and let's not talk about that. But, yeah, wow. Wasn't that a tough 50, 60 minutes? But, I said, don't kick it at Jonas Pearson, and every kick seemed to go to him, and he just seemed to keep scoring. But I remember you saying every time you were getting strapped, or any time you had 2 minutes with Dwayne Duncan, you offered him 5K here, 500 a game here. Is he one of the best ones you've had the chance to coach, Buster? Yeah.
Yeah, mate. He's a top shelf bloke too. Real good family
Yep.
man.
Yep.
Also, what we wanted Dwayne was he had a close friendship with a couple of the players there.
Yep.
And he's one, like, you just only got to pass him the ball and something's going to happen there with Dwayne.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably one of the best coaches in that period was Corey McGrady.
Yeah.
You guys, well, Big Norman. I'll shout out Big Norman.
Big noise. Yes. Yep.
Big noise.
He's probably one of the best I've coached that had never got a chance. Or well, he had an opportunity, but for whatever reason, family, got a young family, and so decided to stick with them. But he's one of the best I've probably coached as a halfback.
He was.
Obviously, with your career, you've got some remarkable moments. Where does coaching a local A grade team to win in a competition to making your NRL debut? How far does it weigh between each other as an achievement?
What was that? Sorry.
So obviously you've won a competition with the Roosters coaching. How does that fit in your rugby league career as a moment?
Oh yeah, mate, it was very, it was a great moment. Just in fact that, Valleys have won a lot, and they won like 30 something trophies out of 100 years there in Toowoomba, and they're very disliked by opposition teams, but inside that part, they've got the culture that's bred. Any player that comes, you can feel it, and the strong sort of like Melbourne or the Roosters. You just pull the jersey on, they know what the job is that's in front of them. So that was probably what got us over the line. Was just that the thing you don't have to say. There's just something in the dressing room that makes the boy just doing the job.
Yep.
And Buster, do you miss that, mate? Do you miss coaching at the moment? Well, sorry, obviously there's no footy on at the moment, but is that something you want to do, mate, moving forward? End of this year or next year, or what's your plans, mate? Obviously, you sound like you still want to be involved in the game, like maybe mentoring some young kids, mate, or what's Buster Seymour with Buster Seymour's playing with rugby league?
Yeah, well, I spent a few years coaching. I had to take a step away just to stabilise my personal life. I have a public going forward now with my ex-wife. Which has been written. I don't want to dive too far into that, but
yeah, sure.
Life come along, and I had to step away. Just that I couldn't coach a group of young men if I wasn't fully committed.
Yep.
And so I'm getting that in order, and I've actually lost the love for the game, but
okay.
Just that I wasn't fully committed, and I'm just an all-in type.
Yeah.
And and I wasn't able to commit to that. So I'm not sure going forward. I'd like to go into sort of being able to help the younger ones on a mental aspect, like sports psychology. I don't know, helping young kids identify problems, or sort of like a mentor type role, just to help the younger, not just superstars, but kids from any walk of life.
And I think that's the big thing, Buster, because the psychologists and the people that get the gigs at the NRL clubs these days are people with degrees and people who are book smart. But I think if you can actually mentor a kid or work with a kid who has had some troubles or who's going through some stuff, but they don't want to talk about it, I think Jason Ferris or Croc touched on it the other night. They're too scared to speak up. I think someone like yourself who's probably, gone around it the long way and has some life skills, around these issues is the sort of person that should be dealing with young kids at first grade club. That's my opinion, and I think a lot of kids can actually get some huge benefits from talking to people like yourself who've been there, done it, but also struggled with mental issues.
Definitely.
Yeah, so definitely. I think that'd be awesome, mate. If that's something you wanted to look into down the track, and obviously, mate, me and Ty were lucky enough to work with you at the Murray Carnival, and we've kept in contact the last 3 years, mate. So we've got a high opinion of you.
Yeah, mate. No, much respect. That little period through was really grounding for me to be able to find out a little bit about my history on the respect of the Indigenous background that I've got, and I found that just so heartwarming to be able to just lay the boot up. And some kids look up to you, some don't know who you are, but you're all brothers at those carnivals, and it's more so the mateship that comes along with it. And you boys know, it's hard to put into words, but it's very meaningful. You're playing for your Bob, and it was great. To get back in, even in and around that circles would be great.
And mate, how was your experience with Tibbo, Big Nathan down at Waterloo? You boys went pretty well. Got the day 2 or day 3, I think, the same year.
Yeah, I think we got it into day 2. We won the first day on the second day, and Walgett. We ran into Walgett. I think they got into the final that year. Yeah,
okay.
It's like I think it's only 20 minutes each way. You just got to.
Yeah, you can't miss a kick. Yeah. You can't. Tobber?
Yeah, so big one for me, but obviously now we're looking back on your career. I'm not going to say what advice you have for kids. I'd rather ask the question, and I know you're an honest guy. If you could change anything, mate, if you're 17 again, so if you're 17 and a half again, and just been given your NRL debut jersey, what would you change throughout your career, or what would you try to manage differently?
Well, yeah, okay. Going back, knowing what I know, I would probably take it more of an aspect of, say, like a LeBron James, like spent all his time recovering, drinks minimal alcohol, his body's a temple, constantly working on his game. It'd just be Netflix, footy, home.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, Buster, the old saying, like, you're a long time retired, aren't you?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. In hindsight, it's one of those things, mate. Like, at the time, you're in a bubble, and you just want to impress, your peers, whether it's going out and doing the wrong thing, or even just on the training paddock. It's always, instead of fulfilling the potential that you've got, like you look at a guy like JT.
Yeah.
He was a bit of a wild child as a young lad.
Yep.
Coming through, but there was a crossroads in his career, and he made the decision to go all in footy.
Yeah.
And that decision reaped the rewards for him. And he was, he had the potential, but he went and worked it on himself in the gym, harnessed his game, and the rest is history. He just turned out to be the champion player that he is. So
what was your training ethic like off the field?
Training ethic?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I was always winning or up in the top fitness drills. Like, it was all coming too easily for me. And I was just, I guess it was taken for granted what I did have.
Buster, two for you here, Buster. The first one, so when you went through all the, any sort of indiscretions, did anyone from the NRL reach out to you?
No.
Well, when you had that accident over in England, did anyone from the NRL or the Super League reach out and see if you're all right?
No. The Super League, there was a bloke from Super League. So a guy at Sporting Chance, there was a fellow called Bobby Goulding. He played footy over in England.
Yep.
He had pretty much an incident replicate mine.
Yep.
I think before. And he reached out to me and put me onto this organisation. So,
that's awesome.
Bobby Goulding was one that reached out to me. Yeah, much credit to him.
And the second one, Buster, who's the best player you've ever played with? Juniors, Clydesdales, but anywhere that's never gone on to play first grade?
Well, it's a toss-up between a lad called Johnny Nash. He was at the Cowboys for the juniors back when I was coming through. So pretty much Cowboys signed him and Broncos took me.
Yep.
He was real good. And Ashley Alberts, he signed it. He was at the Broncos also, but he got homesick. Young Indigenous lad. He wanted to go back to Mackay. He was just a freak, mate.
Mate, Buster, did he go down to Manly as well?
Yeah, he went to Manly and
homesick as well?
He got sent home for, I think he had a scrap with someone like on the training paddock and sparked him out and they sent him home.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But he could play footy. He could play.
He had the best outball removed.
Yeah, wow.
Catch got out.
All right, Tom, open up for some questions. What questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions here, Buster. One is, who's the better footballer out of you or Todd? Who's the better footballer out of you or Todd?
Mate, that's tough. I would say Todd's probably more courageous than me. But ability-wise, I probably had him, but he put his head in and he plays. He's a great defender too.
And he's a legend.
He's a legend. Yeah, he's going real good down the coast there.
What other questions, Todd?
Which NRL club that you were at do you believe was the best out of all three of them in regards to player welfare?
The Broncos was good, like for the period of time we were like they were always a year or two ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
But I was just too young to take advantage of it. But I most of it come back to the coaches. Like Wayne used to man manage a lot, and Ricky, he used to play mind games. He was hard to deal with. But, he could get a team up for an occasion. And Ivan Cleary was very quiet, but good coach also. So I was under some good coaches and good organisations.
What else you got, Ty?
There's a question in. When you obviously get into the bit of the party life at the Bronx, did any older players ever grab you and pull you into line a bit about similar players that maybe have gone down a similar path to try and keep you on the straight and narrow?
Like there was blokes like Gordy, Webby, Metro. They were, they did probably as much as they could to steer me in the right direction. Obviously, without naming names, there were different players that you could hang around and you'd be up to different things. The younger generation that hung out, and then you get older guys, family, more homely life, and I was choosing to go to the younger ones.
Tom, just pull another three or four questions we got down there.
Yeah, there's another question here. How good was Mackay Rugby League Grand Final 2019 last year to watch?
It wasn't much of a game. I think it was 30-0 half time to the Farmers. outstanding defensive display, though. I didn't think West were going to score that day, but yeah, it was over for I think 20 minutes.
But let's
scrum play there. I like that.
But Buster, let's be honest. You didn't watch much of that game. You were watching the Toowoomba Grand Final on your phone.
Oh yeah. I was watching both, mate.
And there's a question coming in here. It says, who was more deep in beers, you or Kimmy at the Mackay GF?
Who was more what?
Who was more deep into beers, you or Kimmy in the GF?
Probably Kim.
Buster, you were 2 to my 1.
I was in good form then. See, I was pitch fit.
Yeah. We got any more questions, Tybo?
Question from Marga. Is Marga still the most talented player you've ever coached? Mark McGrady.
Oh, is that from Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, is he still the most talented player you've ever coached?
No comment.
No, probably Corey, the talent-wise. The young kid, probably Turnbull, I had to coach him for a handful of games. He can play.
He can play, yeah.
Yeah, he can play. And there's a couple, that's Toowoomba but some good players in and around there.
Any more, Tybo?
I've got a mate, David Yarrow, up in Harvey Bay, and he's just asking what's Big Ray doing with himself at the moment?
What?
What's Big Ray Seymour doing at the moment? What's he doing with himself?
Oh, nice. Big Ray, he's been working on the council for, mate, if we can get on 40 years, he'd be doing the big payout, brother, the long-term contract. But he's coaches, mate. He's been coaching the junior side at South Mackay for 15, 16 for about 20 years. He loves it.
Yeah, perfect.
And just lastly, Buster, just to the viewers out there, if Buster gives you any tips around the Mackay track, disregard them. You've sent me some dodgy ones, Buster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Yeah, they're usually coming out of the stable, so they're about good for nothing, brother.
Yeah.
Game, just big.
Yeah. No. In all seriousness, Buster, as I said from the get-go, myself and Ty, we've created this page to give people the insight of, of professional athletes and what it's really all about, not what you see on telly and reading the papers. And, mate, honestly, we really appreciate your time. Mate, straight away when I asked you, you're keen as to give back, in this way through chat. And, I really appreciate it, Buster.
No, much respect. Much love, boys. We'll be in touch, eh?
Take care. Thanks, Buster. See you guys. Cheers. Bye, mate.
Just want to thank everyone for tonight. Obviously, we had a bit of a disconnection there with Buster on the screen, but obviously everyone stayed on and tuned in, which is outstanding. And we're only new to this. We're only 8 days in setting this up, so we will get all those technical things right over the course. And we've got some really good interviews coming up over the next few weeks, so stay tuned. Cheers.
Yeah, guys, we're definitely not too tech savvy, but tomorrow night we've got Robbie O talking to good mate of both of ours, Luke Catewell, on Sunday. We've got some really, really good ones like Buster and the boys coming up next week. So stay tuned, keep liking, keep sharing, and invite your friends. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.